Okay, so picture this.
Yeah.
You're at a networking event, right? Maybe a big conference. And you see this person just working the room.
Mm-hmm.
They're so confident making connections, and it seems like opportunities just come to them.
Yeah.
Ever wonder what their secret is?
Yeah. I think we all have.
Well, today we're going to deep dive into a concept that might just explain it.
Okay.
The world of mindsets, specifically scarcity versus abundance.
It's fascinating how much our mindset can shape our experiences.
And it really is. It's like a lens coloring how we see everything.
Absolutely. And it impacts so much more than we realize. Decisions, relationships, even our chances of success.
You brought some really interesting material to explore this.
I did.
A blog post actually written in Nepali.
Yes.
The title is Sheven Fali Jiafat. Jemafali Jiapali. You're Cherafal Jafali Jika. Because Yemastor fine fee, the Aptapali do MCP high so. Small steps.
What a mouthful, right?
It is. But it basically translates to shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Ways to change your mindset, small steps.
That's the gist? Yeah.
So we're going to break down these concepts and, more importantly, how they apply to you.
Sounds good.
Because who doesn't want a bit more of that it factor, that ability to attract opportunities and just feel more empowered?
Exactly. That's what we're all after, right?
So let's start with the basics, Scarcity Mindset 101. What is it?
Well, it's that feeling of constant lack. Like there's only so much to go around.
Okay.
Whether it's money, success, even love. It's like everyone's fighting over a tiny slice of pie.
And that pie never seems to get any bigger.
Exactly. With a scarcity mindset, you're stuck in this zero-sum game.
Zero-sum meaning.
Meaning if someone else wins, you automatically lose.
Oof, I know that feeling. Like when a coworker gets the promotion you were hoping for.
Right. Instead of being happy for them, you feel resentful. Like you've been cheated somehow.
Totally. And there's just one example. I'm guessing there are more downsides to this scarcity thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A whole bunch. And they can be pretty detrimental.
Like what? Spill the tea.
Well, scarcity often makes us super short-sighted.
Short-sighted meaning.
We get so fixated on immediate needs, bills, deadlines, that we lose sight of the bigger picture.
It's like you're in survival mode all the time.
Exactly. You're so busy treading water, you don't have time to build a better boat.
Makes sense. And I bet all that pressure leads to some bad decisions.
It definitely can. Think about it. You're offered a job, not your dream job, but you take it out of fear.
Fear of
having nothing, of
Right.
missing out.
Been there.
Yeah.
Made choices purely out of desperation, not strategy.
It happens. And scarcity can also poison our relationships.
How so?
Well, if you constantly see others as competition, trust and support go out the window.
Makes sense. It's like every relationship becomes transactional.
Exactly. The blog post actually talks about this playing out in workplaces.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People hoard information resources because they're afraid to share.
Afraid that sharing will somehow diminish their own success.
Precisely. But ironically, that lack of collaboration ends up hurting everyone in the long run.
Okay, so we've established scarcity is not a good look.
Definitely not the vibe we want.
So let's flip the script. We'll talk abundance.
Now, this is where things get exciting.
Okay, I'm ready. What's abundance all about?
It's about shifting that lens. Instead of seeing lack, you see possibilities.
So instead of that tiny pie we were talking about,
Yes.
abundance is like,
It's like believing the pie can actually grow.
I like that a lot. So it's not just about positive thinking.
It's deeper than that. It's a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and the world.
So you're not just hoping for the best, you're actively creating it.
Exactly. And the cool thing is there's actual science backing this up.
Really?
Yeah, studies show abundance leads to better decisions, more creativity, even better physical health.
Wow. Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
But how do we actually make this shift?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Because it's easy to get stuck in that scarcity trap.
It is. It's like a default setting for a lot of us.
And that's where our Nepali blog post comes in.
Okay, so it's not just defining the problem, it's offering solutions.
Exactly. It provides practical steps for cultivating abundance.
I love practical steps. Give me a sneak peek. What's one of the first things it recommends?
One of the simplest yet most powerful tools is gratitude.
Gratitude. Just being thankful. How does that tie into abundance?
It's all about shifting your focus. Have you ever noticed that when you're stressed, you fixate on what's wrong?
Oh, absolutely. My brain becomes a negativity magnet.
Exactly. But gratitude flips that script. You intentionally focus on the positive.
So instead of dwelling on what's missing,
You appreciate what you have, the small things even.
like what?
Like that first sip of coffee in the morning, the warmth of the sun on your skin.
Okay, I can do that. But what about bigger areas where I feel stuck? Like my career, I sometimes feel like I'm in this constant comparison game.
I hear you. That's where another tip from the blog post comes in, embracing a growth mindset.
Wait, isn't that a whole other deep dive?
It is, but it's closely linked to abundance.
Okay, how so?
A growth mindset means you believe your abilities aren't fixed.
So instead of feeling threatened by someone else's success,
You see it as an opportunity to learn and grow.
to figure out what skills you need to develop to reach that level too.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is neuroscience supports this. Our brains are constantly adapting.
So by challenging ourselves and learning new things...
We're literally rewiring our brains for success.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
And we're just getting started. There's so much more to uncover when it comes to abundance.
Well, I can't wait to dive in.
Me neither. Welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about gratitude and a growth mindset.
Yeah, those are some powerful insights.
They really are, and they're key pieces of the abundance puzzle.
Okay, I'm following you. So where do we go from here?
Well, the blog post highlights another element that ties in beautifully with a growth mindset.
Oh, and what's that?
Collaboration.
Hold on, I thought abundance was all about individual empowerment.
That's where the scarcity mindset tricks us. It makes us think it's a me versus you world.
Right? Like we have to fight for our share.
Exactly. But abundance flips that script.
So it's more of a we're in this together kind of thing.
Precisely. The blog post uses a great analogy, a group of musicians playing in an orchestra.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Each musician is talented in their own right, but it's the collaboration, the harmony that creates the magic.
So instead of diminishing individual talent, collaboration actually amplifies it.
Exactly. We can achieve far more together than we ever could alone.
And I bet this applies to more than just music.
Absolutely. Think about a work project, for example.
Okay.
In a scarcity mindset, you might hoard information afraid to share.
Right, because you think it'll make you less valuable.
But an abundance mindset recognizes that sharing actually creates a more supportive and innovative environment.
So it's like you're contributing to a collective success.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe someone else has the missing piece of the puzzle you need.
You know, that reminds me of this design project I was struggling with a while back.
Oh, tell me about it.
I was so focused on proving myself, I didn't want to ask for help.
I've been there.
But finally, I swallowed my pride and reached out to a colleague.
And what happened?
Not only did they have great ideas, but brainstorming together actually sparked even more creativity.
There you go. A perfect example of collaboration in action.
And it also highlights another benefit of collaboration.
Mm.
It helps us challenge those limiting beliefs we often hold.
Those negative voices in our heads that tell us we're not good enough.
Yeah, I know those all too well.
Scarcity makes us want to isolate ourselves, hide our vulnerabilities.
It's like we're trying to build these little empires even if they're on shaky ground.
But collaboration is about building bridges instead of walls.
So it's about recognizing that we all have strengths and weaknesses.
And that by supporting each other, we can all rise together.
I love that. Okay, so collaboration is great for challenging those limiting beliefs. But what about competition? Isn't that just a natural part of life?
It is, and the blog post acknowledges that.
Yeah.
But it challenges us to see competition through a different lens.
How so?
Instead of a zero-sum game where one person's win is another person's loss, it encourages us to embrace a win-win mentality.
Win-win. So even in a competitive situation, there's a way to approach it from an abundance mindset.
Absolutely. It all comes back to how we define success.
Okay, I'm listening.
In a scarcity mindset, success is about being better than others, about beating the competition.
It's like a constant ranking system.
Exactly. But with an abundance mindset, success is defined by personal growth, achieving our own goals.
So it's about focusing on our own journey.
Exactly. And this shift in perspective can change how we view our competitors.
Instead of seeing them as the enemy.
We see them as sources of inspiration, as benchmarks to strive for.
I never thought of it that way. So competition doesn't have to be cutthroat.
Not at all. In fact, even in highly competitive fields, there are often opportunities for collaboration.
Really? Give me an example.
Think about athletes training for the Olympics. They're competing against each other, but they also learn from each other, push each other to be better.
So it's like they're raising the bar for everyone.
Exactly. And the blog post emphasizes that this kind of collaborative competition often leads to incredible innovation and progress.
Okay, so competition can actually be a force for good.
It can if we approach it with the right mindset.
And speaking of mindset, there's that nagging issue of those limiting beliefs.
Yes, those pesky negative thoughts that can creep in, especially in competitive environments.
It's easy to compare ourselves to others and feel inadequate.
It is, but the blog post offers a great tool for combating this reframing.
Reframing meaning.
It means consciously choosing to see those negative thoughts from a different perspective.
Can you give me an example?
Let's say you're feeling insecure about your skills compared to your colleagues.
Okay, relatable.
Instead of dwelling on that feeling of inadequacy, you could reframe it as an opportunity to learn from them.
To ask myself, what can I learn from their experience? How could I develop those skills too?
Exactly. By shifting your focus to learning and growth, you're moving away from scarcity and towards abundance.
Okay, I'm starting to see how reframing can really help.
And it's not just about reframing our thoughts about ourselves, but also about situations.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Let's say you face a setback, a project failure, maybe.
Okay.
A scarcity mindset might see that as proof you're not good enough.
Yeah, that you just don't have what it takes.
But an abundance mindset reframes that setback as a valuable learning experience.
As a chance to adjust your approach and come back stronger.
Exactly. It's about turning those so-called failures into fuel for growth.
I like that.
Yeah.
And this ties in with another key tip from the blog post, right?
You got it? Focusing on long-term goals.
How does that connect to abundance?
Well, a scarcity mindset keeps us trapped in the day-to-day, always worried about immediate needs.
It's like you're always in survival mode.
Exactly. But with abundance, we develop a more expansive view of time.
So we start thinking about the bigger picture.
Precisely. We think about the life we want to create in the long run, the impact we want to make.
It's like shifting from surviving to thriving.
Exactly. And setting those long-term goals is crucial for that shift.
It gives us something to aim for.
It's like having a compass to guide us, even when things get tough.
Okay, this is all starting to click.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious, what else does the blog post recommend?
Well, there's one final piece of the puzzle we need to address, and it's a big one. Embracing change.
Change can be a scary word.
It can, especially with a scarcity mindset, because it craves certainty and control.
So how do we approach change from an abundance perspective?
That's what we'll explore after the break.
Welcome back. We've been deep diving into this whole scarcity versus abundance thing.
We have. It's been quite a journey.
It really has gratitude, growth, mindset, collaboration, reframing long-term goals. We've covered a lot.
And now we come to the final piece of the puzzle from our Nepali blog post.
Okay, what's that?
Embracing change.
Ooh, that's a tough one for me. Change can be so unpredictable.
It can. And that's why it often triggers our scarcity mindset.
Because it feels like a loss of control.
Exactly. Scarcity makes us crave certainty and predictability.
But like you said earlier, change is inevitable.
It is. It's the only constant in life. So the question is, how do we approach it?
Okay, so how do we shift our perspective to see change as a positive thing?
Well, the blog post makes this interesting point.
Okay, I'm listening.
What if instead of resisting change, we embraced it as an opportunity?
I've never thought of it that way.
Think about it. When we cling to the status quo, we're limiting ourselves to what we already know.
Okay, that makes sense.
But change shakes things up. It forces us to step outside our comfort zones to adapt to learn new things.
So change can actually be a catalyst for growth.
Exactly. It pushes us to expand our horizons to discover hidden potential within ourselves.
The blog post had that example about losing a job, right?
Yes.
It's a perfect illustration.
It seems like a negative event, but
But through the lens of abundance, it can become a springboard for something new.
like a chance to pursue a passion project or a new career path.
Exactly. It's not about denying the difficulty of the situation.
Right. It's about seeing the potential within it.
It's like that saying, when one door closes, another one opens. But we often miss those open doors because we're so fixated on the closed one.
Exactly. We're blinded by our fear and disappointment.
You know, this reminds me of when I got laid off from that job I thought I'd have forever.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
At the time, it felt like the end of the world.
I bet.
But looking back, it was the best thing that could have happened.
Really?
It forced me to reevaluate my priorities, to take a risk, and it led me to a career I'm truly passionate about.
That's amazing. A perfect example of how change can lead to something better.
And it also highlights another benefit of embracing change resilience.
Ah, yes, resilience. When we resist change, we become brittle, easily broken.
But when we embrace it,
We become flexible, adaptable, like bamboo bending in the wind.
I love that analogy. So we've talked about gratitude, a growth mindset collaboration, reframing long-term goals, and embracing change.
Quite a toolkit for cultivating abundance.
It is. And I'm starting to see how interconnected all these concepts are.
They really are. They all work together to shift our perspective from scarcity to abundance.
From limitations to possibilities.
Exactly. It's not just about positive thinking. It's about a fundamental shift in how we see the world.
And how we see ourselves within it.
Precisely. And this shift isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous journey.
A journey of awareness, practice, and growth.
Exactly. It's about consciously choosing abundance even when things feel challenging.
So to wrap up, what are some key takeaways from our deep dive?
Well, first and foremost, our mindsets are incredibly powerful.
They shape our reality in so many ways.
Exactly. When we operate from scarcity, we limit ourselves. But when we embrace abundance, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities.
And that involves practicing gratitude, embracing a growth mindset, collaborating with others, reframing our thoughts, and ultimately embracing change.
That's it in a nutshell.
So as you go about your week, we encourage you to reflect on these concepts.
Think about an area of your life where you feel stuck or limited.
How might an abundance mindset change your approach?
Could you reframe a challenge as an opportunity? Seek out collaboration instead of competition? Embrace change as a catalyst for growth?
The choice is yours. Choose abundance.